In this video, we're gonna start to work with cylinder and create a stony glass with that. So we want to create this stony glass, and the primary object for stony glass is cylinder. It's not cube. With cube, it's really hard to turn it to something like this glass. So I'm gonna press X for delete or simply press delete depending on what you like. And then I'm gonna add mesh and then press on cylinder. Every time you add a new object, there is a menu at the bottom left, and if I press on add cylinder, you can see there is all the setting that we can have for my cylinder. And the vertices is the number of vertical edge that you can see on the cylinder, and if I change it to something, for example 6 or any other number, it's gonna decrease or increase. So I think working with 16 is a good number. The radius is the radius of our cylinder, so if I change it, you can see that the radius is gonna change, and the depth is height of our cylinder. The cap fill type is the type of the filling on top of our cylinder. Let me activate the wireframe from overlay, wireframe, and as you can see, the cap fill type is now n-gon, and n-gon is a face with more than 4 vertices, and right here is a face with 16 vertices. If I want to turn it to triangle, I can press on n-gon and turn it to triangle fan, and you can see now there are only triangle faces. We don't need to talk about generate UVs and align for now, but the location is the location of our cylinder. For example, if I want to move my cylinder up, and also, for example, if I want to turn this cylinder close to my glass, I can go to the -y view, and now I change the depth of our object and then move it up, increase the depth a little more, move it up a little more, and I also can see my object in the wireframe mode, so I press wireframe and decrease the radius a little. You always need to start with the minimum or maximum to model your object efficiently. So I think that much is enough, and when I click outside my object, the menu is gonna be disappear and it's not gonna be displayed anymore. So this is my primary object, and if I click on it and I want to now edit it, so I press tab or go to the object mode and press edit mode. Okay, and now I need to turn this cylinder to glass, and for that we always need more detail, and every time we always need more detail, we need to add edge. So I'm gonna try to add edge, but before we add edge, let me analyze my glass. So how many edge do we need for this glass? The minimum edge, if I want to count, the top one we already have. Let me change it to surface. The top one we already have, but we need an edge here because we need to increase the radius. We also need edge here and here for this shape that we have. We also have an edge in, better to have an edge on there, but we don't see it from this angle. We also need an edge for this edge, and we also need an edge here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 edge for now. So I'm going to the select box mode. It's better to view my object from the front view, so I can select a -y view or press tilde key and go to the front view. Okay, and And if you write on your image and it's always show in front of your object, you can come here and select on this icon, and the thing that you annotate is gonna be go behind your object, because what I write is on my image. So I press tilde key, go to the front, and now I try to add edge based on the edge that I need. So I'm gonna go to the wireframe. The other way to change to the wireframe is by using the shortcut, and the shortcut is Z. And every time I hold Z, you can see that the render, wireframe, and material preview and solid is gonna be displayed. So I can change it to wireframe. And if you want to switch to the between solid and wireframe, you can use the Shift Z shortcut. Shift Z is gonna be switch between them. So as I draw here, I need an edge, so I'm going to the loop cut tools for adding edge and add edge here, and I need to push it up, so I change the factor to change it to here. I add another one and change the factor again, for example here. This time I'm gonna use the shortcut, so I changed back to select box, because it's nice for you to also learn the shortcut and increase the speed of your modeling. So I'm gonna use the Control R shortcut, left click, and then drag to put it at the place that I want. There is also another one for the bottom that we don't see from this angle in the image. So I press Control R shortcut again, and then I'm going to the loop cut tools, and this time I'm going to use the tools one for here. This much, I think it's approximately at the place of what I think is good, and it doesn't need to be exactly at the place that you draw your edge on the image. So another edge, and factor is gonna be this much. Okay, so for now it's good, and let me remove the drawing that so I want to repeat one more time. Every time you want to create an object, you first start with the primary object and change the shape of the primary object close to your reference image or any other reference. After that, you need to add more edge to add more detail to your primary object. One of my students tends to dislike adding edge to the object, but how can you change the shape of your object without adding edge? And even in character modeling, you first start with the base shape of the body, and then you add muscles or add more details to your character. So start with primary object, close it to the reference image, and then add more edge to change the shape of your primary object and add more detail. And we're gonna do it in the next video. Also, you can subscribe, like, or comment in this video or any other video. See you on the next video.